created a new character in my last series of shorts. If you haven't seen it and you're curious to know how I came up with this character, you can go check it out. Links in the description. But today we're just gonna complete the sheet and dive a little deeper into the roleplay, the narrative, the story behind this character. So what I'm thinking is I'm slowly going to fill out everything that is missing from the sheet. And while I do that, I'm gonna slowly talk about maybe the story or how the elements I fill out tie into our characters' personality and their story. At the very least, that's the goal. So let's waste no more time and jump into it. So let's start with our half-orc abilities that did not require any choices. So our speed is 30 feet, very standard, and we have dark vision. Now I'm thinking maybe that's something that could have helped our character to transcend their simple soldier status and go into this more grandiose role of a leader that gave them their bard ability. The fact that they have dark vision maybe helped them during night raids or night defenses, whereas maybe they have human counterparts that did not do as well. So I'm thinking maybe that could have led to their role of a model when they were a soldier that helped them inspire others. They have menacing, which would give them a skill in a proficiency in intimidation, but we already have that one from the soldier background. So I will allow myself to just pick another skill which I hadn't thought of when I made the short series, but now that I see it, I'm just gonna allow myself to get a bonus skill to replace our menacing. So let me see. I think perception might be a good option if we have the dark vision that helps us during the night. Well, maybe they're very perceptive, and during the night when they could see while others couldn't, maybe that's something that distinguished them from other soldiers. So I think I'm gonna go for that here. I'm gonna take perception instead of intimidation. Why not? We have relentless endurance, another aspect that can definitely set them apart from regular soldier or soldier of other descents, which aren't half-orc. That would probably be very impressive to see your comrade fall to a blow but get right back up, because relentless endurance allows you once per day when you hit 0 hit points to instead drop to 1 hit point, and that must be very, very impressive to see. And that could be maybe in a big battle they should have gone down, but they didn't, and they could deal the final blow to a very menacing enemy or something like that, and that made them enter a bit of the legendary status that allows them to take power from the inspiration they give to others to have these bard abilities. Now I'm starting to find some things I like. Savage attacks. Ooh, once again, I think that can make them a very impressive fighter and give them some kind of respect and inspiration to others. Yep, I really like how these abilities can tie into this narrative. So for now I'm thinking of maybe they were a soldier, but then during a battle they turned the tide thanks to their specific abilities. And since then they entered the legend and can tap into the power of the story, their own story, to have access to that kind of status of storyteller. Maybe I quite like that. That's it for the half-orcs abilities. Let's do the background quickly so we can get make sure we don't need to lose any more time on this. The background, athletics, intimidation, that's good. One type of gaming set, not very relevant here, I think. So they get a dagger. Why not? Dagger. Oops. There we go. Set of bone dice or deck of cards. Maybe a deck of cards. Why not? Deck of cards. They get common clothes and a pouch of 10 gold pieces. Let's write that down. 10 gold pieces. That's good. Okay. Then, if we look at the bard, they have proficiency with light armor. Good. Weapons. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see the equipment. So we have made our choices. We also get a leather armor and a dagger. So I'm not gonna take 2 daggers. I think that's a bit redundant. So I'm gonna take the leather armor though. Leather armor. There we go. And with that we can have our armor class, which is gonna be 12. Not great. We're gonna have to remedy that somehow, but not for now. Then our spell casting. Ooh, maybe we can look into our bard spell list and choose some spells that tie into our narrative. It might take a while, but why not? So the bard spell list for cantrips, we have Blade Ward, some protection against physical attacks, dancing lights, which creates 4 actually orbs of light, friends, which could be good here, which gives you a bonus when you're talking to someone and you want to make persuasion checks, I think, or all charisma checks actually have advantage. Pretty good, pretty good. Then we have light. You probably know light. Mage hand, which conjures a spectral hand that can do simple tasks. Mending, which allows you to mend an object. Message, which allows you to send a message up to 120 feet to a specific target. That could be interesting. Minor illusion, creating minor illusions. You've guessed it. Prestidigitation, which I'm pretty tempted to take here. I think this idea of being bigger than nature and having prestidigitation to help with that could really be a good idea. gonna be one of the cantrips. Thunderclap, which makes it basically makes an explosion around you, dealing thunder damage to creatures next to you. True Strike, which we all know nobody should take, and Vicious Mockery. You know what? I think Prestidigitation and Vicious Mockery here make just a great combo. You've outclassed your fellow soldier. Now you have your story told, and you tell your own story too. And with that, you have this magic that keeps you clean and makes you seem just so grandiose. And you can also just mock your way out of encounters because you are just a skilled veteran. I love that. So for my two cantrips, we're gonna go with Prestidigitation and Vicious Mockery. And I really like that. Okay, that's what we're gonna go for. We also get level 1 spells. How many do we know? You know, 4 first level spells. We're just gonna take level 1 spells here. I'm not gonna go too much into further into it. I really want to set like what our character's personality and story is, and that way you can imagine what they would take later on. If you want to be inspired by this character, go ahead and you can make your own decisions, but we'll just think about what they would take at level 1. So let's check what we have for level 1 spells. Oh, we have a bunch. I'm not gonna go over that whole list. I'm just gonna check what could be interesting. So there is Charm Person. Once again, that allows you to charm someone and makes it easier to have an interaction with them. Could always be good here with this person. Command definitely one I would take. I feel like this authority, this respect people have for them would make Command just fit perfectly in their in that personality. You could imagine, like, except for Prestidigitation, yeah, sure, that's magic, but you could imagine it's just the power of their voice. It's not tapping into magic. They're just so respected that even their enemies listen to them when they're getting insulted, when they are given a command. I think that idea of a bard that's not totally mystical, but just so damn persuasive. I think that's what I'm going for with this character now. With the more and more I make choices, the more and more that seems like the best way to go. So definitely taking Command. Charm Person, we'll see about. Cure Wounds is always interesting. I always like to have healing abilities with my characters. I feel like healing is just so powerful in Dungeons and Dragons. It's not only mechanically, but just having the ability to help your teammates, help your party. I just like healing in general, but for this character, I don't see how it would fit real well to have healing if we go in this direction of not having magic, but just having so much of a persuasive voice. So we'll see about that. What do we have? We have Dissonant Whispers, maybe. Distort Value, no. What do we have? Heroism. Oh yeah, we're definitely taking heroism for this one. What does it do again? Let's check. One action. A willing creature you touch. Could be yourself is imbued with bravery until the spell ends. The creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turn. When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary hit points from this spell. We're taking it for sure. There is my little bit of support ability, which I like for bards. We're not gonna have straight healing, but we do have heroism, which I love. So we have command, we have heroism. We can get 2 more spells. Let's see what we have that could fit this idea. I don't see something that fits quite as directly as those 2. So let's check. We're gonna go into more magic here, I think, than just the voice, but those are already 2 pretty good choices, I feel like. So what else could we have? We could take Tasha's Hideous Laughter, which is a bit more mystical, but still maybe incapacitating an enemy is always pretty useful. So I think that would be in my possible choices. I'm going back over what I already looked at, but did not pick. If I don't see anything else, I think that would be Charm Person and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Yeah, Dissonant Whispers doesn't really fit. Disguise self, nah. You wouldn't disguise yourself. You want to be announced. You want people to know your presence. So, Cure Wounds, no. Comprehend Languages, nah. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go for. We're gonna have Charm Person, Command, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and what's the last one? Oh no, I forgot. Heroism, there it is. That's our 4 level 1 spells we know. And I think that's a pretty good roster for our character. That's a soldier. Like, they were a soldier first. They're not a storyteller, but now they have the power of their voice, of their presence, to help them in their duty. Oh, that's great. I love this. I love this narrative we're creating right now. Okay, so that's it for the spells. Do we have anything else at level 1? Bardic Inspiration. Yeah, of course, that just ties into what I already thought of being this inspiring presence on the battlefield. I think it just fits right in. And that's it for level 1. Yep, we have 2 spell slots for our first level spells. Or proficiency bonus, we can write that down, +2. We also, yeah, I could put our saving throws, dexterity and charisma. Dexterity and charisma, sure. And I think, oh, we have our hit points 8 plus constitution, so that would be 10 hit points. There we go. So I think that's pretty much what we have to look at. Now I'm gonna fill out the sheet with just the numbers, but while I do, I would like to talk with you, and please, if anything I say you want to react to, please go in the comments and tell me about it. But I want to talk with you about, like, let's flesh out this character. So I think they would have been in some kind of militia, in a maybe mid-sized town. I wouldn't say a village, that would be too small, I think, for what we're going for with this aspect of a legendary combatant with a big presence. I'm kind of thinking maybe small town or mid-sized town. I don't want it to be too big. Like if we're thinking of Baldur's Gate, those big cities, I don't think that's where they could really like, I don't know how to say it, but distinguish themselves from the lot. So maybe I want there to be enough people to know about their story to give them a presence, but not so many soldiers that they would be just lost in a sea of them and could never reach that status, So, let's say, yeah, small to mid-sized town would be where they live. And there, what are we thinking for diversity? Is there a bunch more races there, or do they already stick out because they're a half-orc? Definitely for these, what I thought about during these little features, they would have to be at least rare to have orcs in there. So I'm thinking maybe a town that has a kind of diverse crowd, humans, dwarves, elves, but still where half-orcs aren't really the norm, where there's not a lot of them, so there would be an idea of inclusion and they wouldn't be rejected, but they still have something special about them, something people don't see often that could allow them to stick out. I think that's not too bad. I think that's a good idea. So maybe a town with a plurality of people, but more, I don't know, friendly, viewed as friendly races. Whereas half-orcs usually, because of the orc descent, there's more stigma around it. But still an idea of inclusion that would let them be a part of the military and climb the ranks and be respected. I think that would be a good idea. I don't necessarily want them to have a lot of trouble climbing the ranks, because I don't want them to be like an officer that made it against all odds. I want them to be a soldier and then have an incredible feat on the battlefield and become a known personality because of that, and not have a lot of pushback against that. Be accepted as a leader, as a legend, where they come from. That's what I would like, really. Arcana, that's 0. So I think that's what I would go for. A town where maybe there would be what could be a big threat that they had to fend off, and that would have taken out a lot of the military and a lot of effort out of the militia, but they turned the tide and could, like, single-handedly give a fighting chance to the military. Deception +2. I'm thinking about that while I fill out these skills. What are we thinking? Something political, maybe some battle that they knew was kind of maybe some kind of natural attack, like a beast of some kind. Actually, that's, yeah, +1. That could be like, well, a classic dragon attack or something like that, where the town didn't think they would survive, but thanks to the resilience, the endurance of this one soldier, they could at least fend it off. That could be an idea. What else? What else? What else? It could be something they were kind of blindsided by, something that came out of nowhere. Just a new threat in the world, and they didn't know about it, and the town, I don't know, wasn't prepared for it. But this soldier, our character, just went on the assault, and against adversity, against the unknown, they pushed on and led the militia to a victory. But I don't know what that new threat could be. I'm really torn now. I don't know. I think I would really go either for some big political battle that could have boosted their reputation in the whole region, or for a big beast that took the whole militia to defeat but was slain by this single blow. This big savage attack, to go back to our feats and abilities. I'm really torn. I don't know what would be best. I think I'm leaning a bit more toward this political battle. Maybe they are on a outside region of a kingdom, empire, or nation, whatever type it is, and there wasn't yet a war brewing, but they were the first nation to receive kind of a new onslaught of the rival nation. And if they lost, the city would have been taken, and that could have maybe greatly impacted the response of the whole nation. But since they defeated their enemies there and could keep control of their city, they could send warnings throughout the whole region, and that really helped, like, not just for this battle but for the whole nation. The story of this one soldier that allowed the nation to be warned could resonate with so many people. Maybe in a kind of Mulan way. That's something I quite like, actually. The audacity of this one soldier that allows the whole nation to be saved, and that gives them just a big reputation. Well, dang, I really like that. That's what we're gonna go for. Okay. So we're kind of in a Mulan situation here. I love it. Performance, that's +4. So, +4. That's -1. No, actually, that's 0. nations that were at odds a long time ago had some tenuous peace that seemed to be going relatively well until it did not. It could be something like that. And then this aspect of like tenuous peace, but that did not have any sign of breaking so suddenly, does tie into my idea of this unexpected threat too, which I would like. Yeah. Okay, so let's go for that. Our character. Well, since we're going with the Mulan story here, I think I would like for this character to be a woman. Like, I'm gonna go for that. So, let's settle that our character is a she. So, she was part of this militia in this town that town of plurality, and that town of multiple people in the far side of this nation. And they live their life in this town, training and just waiting for something to happen. And they had that tenacity, that strength of their half-orc blood that made them yearn for something a little bit bigger. And they had that nation, their neighboring nation that had been at war a long time ago, but now was at peace. And there's still a lot of tension between the two nations, but because their morality doesn't fit, maybe the other nation has something against that kind of inclusivity, of this idea of many races living together. They don't like that at all. They think there's a threat there. Maybe this neighboring nation could be like mostly one race. I don't want a big one. I don't know what would fit well here, but they're mostly one race, and they think it's dangerous to have some races they view as like enemies, or that races they see as dangerous, let's say. So they want to go cleanse this nation our character is a part of. And yeah. I think that's starting to take shape a little bit. I think I'm done with the oh no, actually I still have to do those. So that's a +4. That's 1d8 +2, and that's 1d4 +2. Yeah. I think I would like them to have a shield. I don't think bards get proficiency with shields. But there might be. Does the College of Sword give you proficiency with? Medium armor and the scimitar. That's unfortunate. You don't get proficiency with the shield. Huh. Interesting. I would probably want to get shield proficiency somehow. I don't know how I would get it. I don't know colleges well enough, I think. Oh, College of Valor. You gain proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. Well, there you would have it. At level 3, that wouldn't be too bad. I think College of Valor is not the best Bard college, but, I mean, it would fit this character just very well. Like the College of Swords would fit very well too, but I don't think they're trained. I don't think what separates them from the rest is their martial ability. It's their moral compass and their tenacity to always go towards the danger if there needs to be someone that takes the hit. So, Valor would really fit very well with that, I think. So yeah, eventually we would take the College of Valor here. So that would help with the armor class too, which is a bit lacking right now. But I have an idea. I think I'm gonna take this out now that we have it. So I'm gonna just show you the whole character sheet for the level 1. That's what it would look like. And now let's think about what our character would be, and write that down a little bit. There we go. We're gonna place this here. Take this like that, right here. Okay. I'm gonna open this. Let's write down a little bit of this backstory, maybe find a couple of names. I don't like coming up with names. That's the bane of every DM, but I'm gonna try to just come up with a couple of good names for the nations, the characters, and everything that goes. Okay, almost ready. There we go. There we go. Here. Okay. So first things first. Let's think about our character's name. So, half-orc, woman, raised in a town, a city, like mid-sized city. Yeah, we're gonna go for mid-sized here, which is gonna make it a relevant city to take in a beginning of a war, you know. A city of plural backgrounds and races living all together. What could we take for a name? I have Elandra in mind, kind of like that. It's a pretty name, and I think it could fit this idea of, like, I know half-orc's name. You could have this idea that they are more harsh sounding because of the orcish ancestry, but here I don't think we're limited to that. I think there's a culture of exchange, of sharing culture. So Elandra could be something her parents came up with, finding it a beautiful name, something that was going around in the city and that humans, elves, gnomes, many little girls were called. So let's go with that, Elandra. Elandra. was raised in the city of... Let's come up with the name. So... I have Calandresh in mind. Calandresh. Does that fit well? I think so. Why not? The city of Calandresh. There we go. There we go. So they're orc. Orc ancestry mixed with the human nature. Made her kind of yearn, for greatness. Yeah, let's go for that. Yearn for greatness. So that would be why that would be why she joined the military in search of not adventure but action, Yeah. That kind of hot-blooded character. That's why she joined. Oh boy. Let's forget about that. Never happened. Joined. Calandresh. Military, no, I think a militia would be what we talked about. I think if it was the city that's on the border, but they didn't expect to be attacked, they wouldn't need a full-on big military. They would have something a little bit smaller, and that's how she would have been able to distinguish herself and make such an impact in that battle against the neighboring nation. In search of action here. I'm thinking also, I have a flash, I'm thinking that this battle that happened that gave them this legendary status could have happened when she was rather young, like young adult-ish, like in the beginning of her military career. But this character would now be a bit more, a bit older. So they have already the reputation, they already know how to tap into the power of their presence. And that's why they are now really a bard, not just a fighter. So I'm thinking like this would have happened at least a few years ago. But let's come back to this. So she's in Galandresh's military militia in search of action. She would spend probably years without too much action, actually, just waiting for something to happen. And there would be a little bit, there would be a little bit of action, just mundane stuff. She would have to be a bit of the police in the city too, but nothing that gets her heart pumping, as she was like, until the Fire Nation attacked, after years of mundane work in the militia, so what would be the neighboring empire? Let's do it, an empire. I like that idea. They're trying to expand. Something new. 5, 4, 4. I'm thinking, trying to come up with names. No. Drashi. Yeah, I like that. Drashi attacked. Out of nowhere. So, oops, nowhere. There we go. It took Galandresh by surprise. Because, well, Drashi, and now what's her nation? Yelna. Yeah, let's go with that. Because Yelna. And the neighboring nation. Neighboring nation of Drashi. Drashi. Yeah, das had been at peace. At peace for the most part of a century. And all Although tensions existed, although existed between the two countries, the two nations, with vastly different different worldviews. Nothing could have warned Yelna of the impending attack. Kalandresh was also an unlikely target. Due to maybe its location, maybe it's somewhere they didn't think they would attack because it's not, either it's well defended or it's just not geographically where they would want to hit, or at least so Yelna thought, but there's just something in there that Taji is after, you know. So let me think about that. Yeah, let's go with because of their of its actually. Yeah. Because of its hard to reach, or maybe something like isolated, yeah. But yeah, so they didn't expect to be hit in Kalandresh, but that's why they were hit, even though it's an isolated location. For some reason, Taji had its eye on it, and had hoped the counterpart is that it would be isolated, so this victory here would remain somewhat silent. Yeah. So Taji had its eye the city. And I hope this assault will remain somewhat silent, somewhat secret, would allow them to have a foot in the region without the rest of the world knowing it for some time. Let's do this, and then I can. Okay, it's not too bad. Alright. So, it's eye on the city. And hopes. They could. Their assault. Hopes their assault would give them a presence in the region. Without alerting Yona. Without immediately alerting Yona. There we go. So that's kind of the setting, you know. And then we would have the big moment, which I don't think I want to go in detail here. I would like to get to have some freedom, but here's the gist of it. During the battle, which Grandrash was cruelly unprepared for. Elandra fought valiantly, and as an enemy general engaged her in combat. She should have been slain. Or so the general thought. Her orcish nature. Let's go with that. Her orcish nature. Allowed her to withstand a massive blow. The surprise, her surviving, surviving caused allowed her to retaliate. With a savage attack. There you go. That forced the general to retreat. General to retreat. This turned the tide on a battle that was otherwise otherwise lost before it even began. Okay, that's all I'm gonna write for the battle. Now let's tie it into our class abilities, features, and the rest of our story. Okay, like that. So, the news of the battle spread quickly across Yilna. Yilna. And allowed the nation a a single soldier. Single soldier. Soldier. Turning the tides. Turning. Of battle. With this news, the reputation of a single soldier turning the tides of battle also reached every corner. Every corner of Yilna, as well as Tahashi. This newfound reputation and respect now allows Elandra, I think. Yes, Elandra. To use her presence in an almost mystical manner to influence others. Influence others. Inspire her companions. And put fear in the eyes of her enemies. I think that's pretty good. I hope you enjoyed this. That seems to me like a pretty good background. You know, something you would give your DM that, hey, if I was a DM and a player gave me something like this for a background for a player character, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be okay with that. I really hope you enjoyed this different take on the character creation process. A lot of you told me you like when I dive into the story and the narrative, as well as just filling out the sheet. So I tried to go more in depth on that aspect this time. please, if you enjoyed, let me know either by liking the video or by telling me in the comments if you have any idea also of things you would like to see. Let me know in the comments. That was a blast for me to take some time to create this story out of pretty much nothing except a few random rolls on a character creation table. So that was incredible. I hope you liked it too. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video.